I hope this isn't too awkward, but I'm filming without a tripod. So, I'm sitting like this. Anyways, I am back in the new house. I'm away from college. I'm on spring break. Today we're going to talk about the books that I've been reading lately. This includes books that I've read in February, the books that I've read in March. It's not the entire month because the month isn't over, as well as the books that I'm currently reading. So, yeah, I think the title might have already given all that information away. It's fine. I'm also doing this unedited because it's Wednesday, and you know what that means, another video, and you know that what that means. I procrastinated and filmed on the day it's supposed to be released, so no editing. Also, people seem to like the authenticity or something, less artificial nature when I film videos that I don't edit. At least view-wise, they've been doing better, so it doesn't work for me too, so it works out. I hope you don't care when I started and finished these books. I don't have that information, or at least I don't want to share it. I have some books here, but there are more books than just here that I've read. I'll be telling you about all the books, but I don't have physical copies of all the books. The first book is Lady Justice by Dahlia Lithwick. Little tongue twister there. I got this from a bookstore that was inside the library, and the book was on a discount because it was pink and it was Breast Cancer Awareness Month when I got it. So I got it for $3. Pretty cool. This is about, as it says, Women, the Law, and the Battle to Save America. It just talks about women lawyers doing their thing, essentially. Especially in the time, it's definitely like it does say the battle to save America, so it's talking mainly about America, especially in recent events like 2016 on, I'd say. So yeah, I learned some things for sure. For example, a quote that I knew that Donald Trump said, that's like there are fine people on both sides. I didn't know what he was referring to. Now I do. So yeah, this book is shorter than it looks like. When you finish this book, this is how much is left. It finishes on page 284, and then it has a lot of pages of like references, about 60. So I thought there was a lot more of this book left when I was reading it until I got to the end. I have someone in mind that I want to give this to, but I don't really have like an occasion to give it to them. But they want to be a lawyer, so I think this is interesting for people interested in law. I did find some parts of it interesting, but I also don't really remember a lot that I learned from it. So yeah, I would recommend it. Yeah, for those specific people, I guess, not generally. Now we have Sing Unburied Sing by Jesmyn Ward. This is part of the best 100 books of the 21st century so far, according to the New York Times. That's the only reason I got it from a bookstore, a book sale. It was okay, I don't know. I was never really invested in these characters. They just did not really interest me, so what they're going through, I didn't really care. This is a good or interesting portrayal about motherhood. I've been noticing like a lot of books that I read have a lot to do with motherhood. I didn't go in knowing this book was about like a mother and son relationship, at least partially, but yeah, I did. That part of it was interesting. But yeah, I will give Jesmyn Ward another chance. I know she has other books, specifically Salvage the Bones and Men We Reaped, both of them I'm really interested in reading, so yeah. Great title, Sing Unburied Sing, but it was a little disappointing. So yeah. Okay. Another book that I read was The Fault in Our Stars by John Green, and you may know this because I actually made a video about it. I read the book in a day, and then I watched the TV show, and then I made a video about it. So yeah, very highly anticipated. I had never read this book, feel like it's quintessential reading, up there with like The Hunger Games, especially like YA. So yeah, I finally gave it a chance, and I did like it. I'll definitely be reading John Green's other books. I haven't read any of the other ones, so yeah, it was thought provoking. I learned this is like the first book potentially that I've read where the main character is like has cancer, which I wish wasn't the case. That's definitely something I don't know that much about and I haven't read much about. I have thought about the concept of like there are bigger infinities than others from this book. What I will say, which I did mention in the video, is that The Fault in Our Stars, the title of the book, which is a Shakespeare quote, is never mentioned in the movie. What's the point of that? What's the point of that? Anything else that I want to say about it? I don't know. Watch the video if you want to hear something else. Another great title, How Beautiful We Were by Mbolo Mbue. I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing this, but it's like an environmentalist novel set in a fictional African village where people come from America or from somewhere else. It's I feel like it's kind of an allegory, claiming that they will help the people environmentally, the African village, and you'll have to read it. I don't know, I was interested at the beginning, but then it just kept going on and on and on. Something I will remember this book for is like the strong sense of community. A specific chapter, or like perspective in this book is literally called the children. Like it's not a specific child, it's just the children in general. So we see pronouns such as we, like we did this, or our fathers, or our sister, or whatever. So that definitely is cool. It was interesting to read in that perspective. Like I had never seen it before, but just the execution, the length of it, and also similar to Sing Unburied Sing, I was never able to really care that much about the people I was reading about. So, bummer. Great title. I could recommend. I'm interested in the authors of the book, which I can. Behold the Dreamers. But this one, I think I'm gonna donate, as well as Sing Unburied Sing. Yeah. Another book that I read was Loose by J.C. Lee. This is a play, first play that I read in a long time. I guess the last one is probably a book that I read for school, like Macbeth. The reason why I read this play is because I watched the movie called Loose, directed by Julius Ona, starring Kelvin Harrison Jr. and Octavia Spencer, Naomi Watts. I watched the movie and then I found out later that it was a play, and I was like, I gotta read this. So yeah, I did like it, not as much as the movie for sure. But yeah, it does motivate me to like write a play. I have been trying to write more creatively in this new year and successfully doing that. But I haven't tried the format of a play, and I think that would be kind of cool. Yeah, reading this play has kind of inspired that. And I do definitely recommend checking out the movie. I do like it. Sorry, I know I'm not talking about these equally in terms of the plot of it, but you may want to go in blind for this one. It is about a high schooler named Luce, who was adopted. He's black and he was adopted by a white family. I'll leave it at that. Then we have Courage to be Disliked. I do not remember the authors of this. I don't think I've ever known it in my head. I've just read it on the cover whenever I opened the book, but I never tried to remember it. This is translated from Japanese, and it's kind of like a self-help book. Another really interesting format. Basically, it's a conversation between this person named Youth and a philosopher. One day, Youth goes to the philosopher's, I don't know if it's a cave, just a house or whatever, and I think it's a he, the Youth is a he, comes with so many questions about like how to live life. It's definitely a self-help book. I gained some insight from this, but I cannot agree with everything that the authors were trying to convince me to believe in. I went in this knowing that a booktuber named With Cindy put this book on her least favorite books of 2024. I was gonna donate that after that like glaring review, but like why? Because I had already bought it, so I kept it. I read it, finished in like 2 days. Interesting things for sure. Some things that I've tried to implement in my own life, and successfully so. And some things I've intentionally not implemented. Yeah, or mindset shifts, whatever. Then I read 7 Days in June by Tia Williams. This is another book that I had heard of for a while. I don't think I necessarily ever wanted to like really read this book, but I still found myself reading it. So like there must have been some innate desire to. The main reason why I picked up this book is that going into it, I knew that it was about two authors that have been writing each other in their books their entire careers. Really interesting. I really wish that there were like excerpts from the books that they had written over the years. But yeah, it's okay. I don't know. I haven't really enjoyed a lot of romance books. I haven't read that many too, so but I did like the audiobook for this. The characters all had a really like they all seemed like real people, especially when they were read by the audiobook reader. I could see this happening in real life, I guess, is what I'm saying. I am interested in reading at least one other of the author's books. What else? Yeah, I feel like their relationship is not that good. I think it's a bit codependent, and they do mention how like the first time that they met each other. This isn't like really a spoiler. Like it was in their teenage years when their brains weren't fully developed. So like falling in love when you're a child, when you're not mature, it's a different experience than falling in love when you are mature. When you reach like 25, I think, is when your brain is fully developed. So yeah, there are different types of loves that we're talking about. They hadn't that goes into spoilers. That's all I'll say. So yeah. And the author in the acknowledgement said that her father came up with the title. She was struggling finding a title, and then her father was like 7 Days in June, which is cool. So yeah. Oh, and there's also a lot of like pop culture references, which I don't see a lot in books. Honestly, I try to avoid that in my own writing, so that was interesting seeing it, but like I didn't. They were useful. They were used well. Okay, and then the final book that I read. And then I'll go into the books I'm currently reading. The Omnivore's Dilemma by Michael Pollan. This is a book that I actually had to read for school. My first book that I've had to read for college, for my environmental philosophy class. And this is basically discussing a journalist's journey on figuring out how we get our food. I don't know. There were parts of this book that are more interesting than others. I wouldn't say that I enjoyed this book. Yeah. I'm enjoying my environmental philosophy class, but not the book. Not the book. But yeah, this proved to me that I can read books pretty quickly when I think about it. Like I knew that, but it's nice to like be reminded. We read this in the span of I think 17 days through the class, and at the beginning of each class we would have like 5 or 6 question quizzes about the reading material that we had to read before the class, so that obviously motivated me. And it's like a 400 or 380 something page book, so it's not short, but we were able to read it in like less than 3 weeks. So yeah, it proves to me that I can if I want to. That is obvious because I have read books in shorter amount of times than 17 days. For example, The Fault in Our Stars, but still, it's yeah. I think I guess I finished the Omnivore's Dilemma before I finished 7 Days in June, and I finished 7 Days in June in like 2 days, and I think having finished Omnivore's Dilemma, like which is a longish book, in a shortest period of time, motivated me to read that in like a shorter time than I could have, if that makes sense. I hope. I really do. So yeah, I have not been reading as much. Honestly, I think that's due to lots of more work compared to last semester in terms of school. I also have a job, so that kind of work. Also, the books that I brought to school aren't necessarily. I'm not as interested in reading them as the books from that I brought last semester. So I'll definitely be bringing some books back to campus. Yeah, which I'll hopefully read faster. So yeah, before we go into the books I'm currently reading, I will, I guess, maybe rank these books. They are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 in all. My favorite one, I guess Loose. Yeah, okay. I'm not editing this, so I can't even put it on the screen, but I think Loose, and then The Fault in Our Stars, and then The Courage to Be Disliked, 7 Days in June, How Beautiful You Were, Lady Justice, The Omnivore's Dilemma, maybe. Like, Lady Justice wasn't objectively a bad book, I just liked it less than a lot of the other books that I've read in the past few months, so yeah. That was my ranking, and now we are going to go to the books I'm currently reading. I am reading, two. One is with two of my friends. The name of the book is When Languages Die by K. David Harrison. It's about language and what happens when they die, funnily enough. We follow lots of case studies around the world of languages that have like so few number of speakers, like in the thousands, and like what we stand to lose when those languages don't have any speakers left. It's very interesting. Like I had never thought about like how many languages there are. I think they gave us a statistic that like there's 6,000 or something. That's so overwhelming, kind of, to think about. I've been taught English. If you didn't know, I learned Spanish in school. But like, I don't know, for some reason, the idea that there are like other languages outside of like the handful, maybe like 30, 40, 50 that like I know the names of, like it's the world constantly amazes me because there's so much like this. I guess this book is like the manifestation of the term. There's not really a term. It's just like the concept of you don't even know what you don't know. I didn't even know what I didn't know. I could make a whole video about it. This book. Maybe I will. Maybe if they agree to it, we can make like a. I can invite my friends on here and we can talk about it together. But yeah, it's really interesting. I don't know if I'd say I'm enjoying it, but I'm learning a lot, which is important. Also, I think this book, as well as Lady Justice, and I guess The Omnivore's Dilemma, have helped me be interested in more nonfiction. I had not read a lot of nonfiction in the past, but now I am, and I'm enjoying it. Like, obviously you can learn things from fiction books, that honestly goes without saying, but like nonfiction, it's like interpretation of a book and like an increased understanding or like knowledge or different things. So yeah, I'm definitely there. Yeah, in reading nonfiction, I get to know a lot of things I didn't even know I didn't know. Yeah. And then the other book that I'm reading is Bad Feminist by Roxane Gay. This is for National Women's History Month. So yeah, it's interesting. It takes the format of different essays. Outside, I'm pretty sure Joan Didion's book, The Year of Magical Thinking, is considered a book of essays. Maybe not, but I don't read that many books that are just made of essays. But I am mostly enjoying this. I don't know, I can't think of a thing that I have a problem with it, so that's a good thing. I read a few essays aloud to my mom, which is fun. Yeah, I guess that's another example of like me thinking I should read more nonfiction, because I'm learning a lot from that book as well. Sorry about the plane. I have the urge to look at my phone to see if there are any other books that I've recently read, but I don't think there are. I would have hopefully written them down. All the other books that I've read this year are in a video that is out now. I can't edit this video, or I would link it, but I'm sure you can find it. So yeah, thanks for watching. Yeah, I need to get back on the train. I need to start reading more consistently, making it more of a priority. And yes, I hope your reading life is going well and your real life is going okay. Yeah, more than okay, but like, yeah, that's pretty much it. Pretty sure. This was uncomfortable. I've never sat in a chair like this for so long. It wasn't uncomfortable. It was just different. I hope I don't wake up with more neck pain than I have been waking up, which has been a lot. Alright. I will see you in the next video. Goodbye.